Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to organize your digital assets. Now, it may not sound as cool and exciting as doing a whole bunch of editing inside Luminar, but I'm going to show you how by organizing your digital assets, you'll be able to quickly get to the information that you need or the assets that you need fast and very efficiently. All right. Hello, everyone. Glad you can make it. All right. So let me jump right in. So here I am, for example. Let's say this image right here. I want to replace the sky. So I'll come over here, templates, just do a real quick adjustment. I got it looking good. Now I'm going to come over here to my skies. And this is why organizing your assets is extremely important. So I select on the sky selection, and I'm sifting through, and let's say I don't see a sky that I like. Now, actually, the sky I'm going to use, I believe, is in here. But let's say I don't have one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add it. Now I have to search gigabytes and gigabytes, or even sometimes terabytes of information or files to get to what I'm looking for. Well, if I come over here and let's say we put everything under my photography file. So here it is, photography. I put an underscore assets in this folder. So all of my images for Coffee Break and for the stuff that we're doing with you guys are in this directory along with my digital assets. So E drive is my working folder. So here it is under photography, and there's my digital assets. So notice I have all of my assets in that location. So because we're dealing with Coffee Break, I'm going to stay up here with you. And here we are, assets. So what's in that assets folder? Anything that you've purchased, downloaded, or you need to reinstall or put back into Luminar. All right. So we have looks, templates, LUTs. In fact, let me pull it up. We have looks, templates, LUTs, my signature, if I want to add my own signature as a watermark, the many skies that we have, and of course we mentioned templates and textures. So anything that I need that'll make my life easier, I have stored underscore assets. Now, if you're still a Lightroom user, in this folder right here, this is where you could put some of your plugins and your presets. Now, you've already installed them inside Lightroom. I would put them here too as a backup. So if something happens to your Lightroom program, you can always come back here, find where what were the plugins or the presets you have, and reinstall them, and it'll save you so much time searching through your hard drives. All right. So now that we're here, I'm going to pull up skies, and let's see, California sunsets. Let's pick this one right here. Open. Now, not only did I add it, not only did I add that to my sky list, but look at this. It's right here. I don't have to re-add it again. So I have it here, and let's just finish this edit real quick. Sky, reflection in the water. Yeah, let's crank that way up. Look at that. I like that. I'm going to relight the scene using the characteristics of the sky. I want to relight my scene here. Let's see, relight saturation. And now there's a human involved, which is fine. So I like how it's interacting different with the human. And we already cranked up the reflection amount, and now the brightness. Let's bring it back a little bit. Great. So for this image here, I'm definitely going to have to come over to the masking tool, add, under basic. What I want to do is let's bring down shadows. All I care about right now is this lower half of the scene. So try to focus just on that. Ooh, look at that. Yeah. Now, do you see how that's making it look like it was shot around the same time of day? Let me keep going. Bump up. There we go. Look at that. All right, so I like where that's at. But what I need to do is use a gradient mask to only let it affect the lower half of the scene. There we have it. Let me move it up a little bit. There, look at that. Maybe darken it once I got it up there. A little more. Right about there. Good, and I'm set. All right. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you not just how to organize your assets. We're going to continue working on that. But I want to show you the benefits and why it's important. So let's continue with this. I'm going to come back to my catalog. And actually, you know what? Let's continue with this image here. All right. So let's say I really like the image itself, but I want to add a texture to it. So under local masking, this is where we'll add our texture. Add the plus sign. And here's texture. Load. And now here I am under assets. So I don't have to go sifting through a whole bunch of files to find this. Here's where it's at. Texture. I can do like a painterly effect. Let's do, you know what? Let's add like a border. Now what I don't have on here, which I wish I did, is Rich Harrington came up with some killer paper. Oh, here it is. Well, maybe that's not it. Nope, that's not it. He has some killer paper torrent effects that you can download from Insiders that are free. So I'm going to come here and I'll use this one. Now, once it comes in, I have to place it. I'm zooming out. Now, by the way, if I drag on the sides, it's going to let me scale it, but not proportional. If I scale from the corners, that's when it's proportional. So let's see, this looks good. That looks good. Lock it into place. I can change the opacity. I'm liking that. Let's say blend modes. Let's play with it. Ooh. All right, I like this one right here. Difference. All right, I like difference. Look at all of this right now up to this point is purely to taste. I just want to show you why having those textures at one location, I'm able to quickly get to it. And look how fast I'm able to do my edits. In fact, let's add one more texture. This texture right here, let's see. That's that text. Oh, it's on the top. I'm going to load a texture. This time, let's add my signature. I'll add this one. And once it comes in, and once it's coming, let me move out of the way. It's going to probably come in rather large. Yep, sure enough. Let's change the opacity. There it is. And then I want to place that texture. Now I don't want to go here because if I do, it's not going to scale it proportionally. So let me bring it down to here, drag it into place. There it is. Now in this case here, I would have used a white. I would use my white signature so it would stand out more. Let's see if we can do something to it to make it stand out. I'm not quite sure. Okay, a little bit, but not a lot. Yeah. So in this case here, I would have used a white signature, but you get the idea of how I'm able to find it quick, bring it right back in. All right? So we have that set. And we come back to catalog. So, and let's use a LUTs real quick. Let's add a LUTs to this image here. Edit. And actually template. What I'm doing on the template again is I'm just letting the template help me make a basic adjustments. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Before, after. Look at the clarity and just the overall contrast looks much better. All right, so I let that do the most of the work for me. Now I'm going to come back over and I want to add a LUTs to it. So we'll come down here and the LUTs is under the creative tools and it's mood. All right, so I can go through here and just select any of the number of LUTs that are already built right into the program. And all a LUTs is, it's a lookup table. It's looking at the colors and then adjusting them based on a lookup table. It's used a lot in Hollywood. And in Hollywood, they use it, it's called color grading, to make the film that was shot a week ago versus a month ago versus today, all of it looking identical. So when you're watching a movie, you're seeing the exact same colors throughout the entire movie. All right. So I look through here, and let's say there isn't any that I really want. So I want to load my own. And as you guessed it, I'll come over to Assets. Here's LUTs. Let's see what the cinematic ones look like. Blue Velvet. You know, or the cool blue. Let's go with Blue Velvet. Oh, there it is. You see how it's shifted? Now I can decide how much. Here's 100%, which is horrible. Here's nothing. So right about here, pop a little contrast in. Tone a little bit. And there we have it. All right. So we have that set. And again, the whole purpose of today's lesson was to show you why it's important to have that asset folder. And like I said earlier, we put that asset folder, let me get back to it to show you. We'll use that LUTs again. Here we go. And we added that asset folder ourselves under whatever the name of your folder is for all your photos. Maybe it's the pictures folder. It could be photography folder. So we added it to the underscore assets. So we added a folder. And then inside underscore assets, this will add our subfolders for all the other stuff that helps build our Luminar. All right. Let me check a couple quick questions. All right. First, will the LUTs stay like the sky? Yeah, okay. So as of right now, Julie, the LUTs, what you see is how we have it. Soon, the new version, update 3, you'll see some changes to that tool pretty soon. All right, Gord. You took pictures, they're on my memory card. You insert the memory card into your computer. Under specific setup, what files do you, what files do you put those pictures? Okay, what folders? Got it. Okay, so let me do this first. Before we shift gears, sorry about that. Before we shift gears, do you have any questions about the asset folder? All right, if you do, please drop that into the comments below, and I'll try to answer that. And then, Gord, I'm going to help you with the question you're asking. So now is the time. We have if you want to stick around for 15 minutes, I can answer questions, but they have to be in that chat in order for me to answer them. So if you have questions pertaining to the asset folder, drop them in. If you have questions about any other topic that you feel will be quick for me to answer, you have my undivided attention, we'll get to that. So, Gordon, let's do this. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. I'm going to go under photography. Okay, Gordon, let's do this. I'll walk you through a typical setup that I would do. All right. I get done. I do a photo shoot, and once I'm done with that photo shoot, I pull out the memory card. Okay. So I pull out my memory card from the shoot, and then I slip it into the card reader, which is attached to my computer. Boom. Now I have a choice. I can either do one of two things. I can let Luminar add it. I can come in here and put File, Add Folders of Images, and then go find those folders on that memory card. But the problem with that is it's going to remember that it's on the memory card. So if I pull that memory card out, I'm going to lose it. So another option, should be right over here under the catalogs, is right here. I can create a folder inside Luminar. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do this for you real quick. I'm going to put it on my C drive. And let's call this a new folder. It's inside photography. I'm sorry, that was selecting it. Oh, I'm sorry. Right here, I'm going to right click, create a new folder. And this folder, I'm going to name it _erase me. Now, the reason why I put underscore in front of it is so it just jumped up to the very top. I named it erase me because I know that I don't need these images. I can delete them afterwards. So I'm going to select that folder. And when I do, notice it came inside Luminar for me. So now it's inside Luminar, and I have those images in that catalog. Now I can click, add a folder of images. Let's see if I still have it connected. Nope. So my memory card I took out. That's right, because I did a shoot the other day. So let's say under my E drive here. And I'm going to go under photography. So I'm replicating right now the Hopwoods. Okay, so I'm pretending right now that this Hopwoods folder right here, all these images, right, we'll do complete. I'm going to pretend that all these images are on that memory card, okay? So I'm going to drag and add all of those in. So I select it, and now, boom, the images are inside Luminar. So I have that set, but here's the problem I'm going to run into. I want them in the Erase Me folder. So if I double-click the Erase Me folder, here's where I want to add the images here. Or what I would do, and again, I'm doing this off the cuff. Traditionally, I would come in here, and before I go into Luminar, I would actually create my folder. So let me put Hopwoods. Here it is. So let's say I scan the hard drive, and these are the images I want. I would copy all of those images to the new folder I just created. So here's photography, _erase me. I would give it a date. New folder, and the date is 2021, let's say 04/12. And then give it a brief description. Quick family photos. All right, double click. Now I'm going to copy all of those images into that folder. Watch the beauty of this. When I did that, here I am under the Erase Me. In a moment, they're all going to appear inside Luminar, and I didn't have to do any extra work with it because Luminar is going to take there it is. Luminar is going to read my hard drive, find those images, and then it's going to display them inside Luminar. All right. So I hope that helped you on that. And again, what I did here was simple. Now I'm going to recap it quick. I just came in on my hard drive, brought the images in. Let's get to it. Here we go. Went to my hard drive under my photography here. Created a new folder, underscore erase me. I can even give it a name like I showed you here. Now that I have that set on my memory card, I copy all those images into that folder. Once that's done, just come over here to Luminar and I'll add that folder. Now, if the folder's already there, like I showed you under the erase me, it'll automatically add the subfolders underneath it. So that's how I take it, Gordon, and we'll do a whole series on that too, to where I'll have maps to show you on that. Let me pull this up. Yes, so Harry, you do, no matter what, you're still keeping the history. All right, Harry, we are keeping the history of the changes we've made. I meant, will the LUTs be saved in the program? Yes. So what Julie was asking, and thank you for that, is the LUTs that I just added is saved inside Luminar. If I were to export that save it as a template, here's what's cool. That LUTs goes with that template. So Julie, if I gave you that template with that particular sky in it, when you ran it on your machine, it'll look as if that same sky not as if, it will be the same sky that I used on mine, because it goes right with the template. On my computer itself, it'll stay in there. It'll automatically stay in my LUTs selection until I remove it. All right? Now, Harry, you're killing me here. I'll tell you why. We had what was supposed to be a 5-minute talk about catalogs. It went into a whole philosophy section that lasted for almost an hour. So here's a good in a nutshell. For catalogs, you have to decide. You want one or many catalogs. Do you want just one catalog? You put all your folders in, all your images into it, or do you want to have multiple project-based catalogs? And there's pros and cons to each, and I think we're going to end up going and creating a whole philosophy behind it, a philosophy article on it, and I will ask a lot of different friends what they're doing and why they're doing it. I know I do it a certain way. I love the way I do it. It works perfect for me. It may not work perfect for you. So I'll come up with a whole list of different ways you could use catalogs. But as it stands, you could use one catalog, dump all of your images into it, or make a project-based catalog and have multiple ones. All right? Let's check other questions. Thank you for that. Good. So she's got it. Good. Okay, good. So Harry again talked about Gotcha. Thank you, Harry. So Harry says when he created when Harry created his image, and when you export it to a TIFF, and let's say you bring it back into Luminar, you can export it as a TIFF, PNG, a JPEG, a PSD if you want. The history is gone. And the reason why the history is gone is because now you took all of Luminar's tools and you applied it to that image. All right? So once it's applied to the image, now it's finished. But you still have the original inside Luminar. So you can always go back to the original image, your raw or whatever it is, and check your history. So yeah, so once you export out of Luminar, all the history is gone. It's the same with any other program, because the history doesn't follow along with it. Okay, good. Let's do this. All right, Gordon. Don't never be sorry, Gordon. All right, so in your case, you save the pictures from the card in a folder. Okay, good. So Gordon, what I did, let me show you again. All right, let me pull this up. All right, Gordon. So notice how the erase me here. If I right click on erase me and I say show in Explorer, it'll show you where I have it saved. And here's my underscore erase me. It's under photography. So I have a local folder here. I happen to call it photography. Where you saw the underscore one was I do have another folder called underscore. This is my work. So my E drive are my Drobo units. They're my external drives. Those are my working. That's for me as a professional photographer. Those are my work images. To keep it separated for Coffee Break, I created another folder here called photography. You know what? What I really should do is name that underscore photography just to keep it consistent. Thanks for catching that. So if I double click on photography, there's the erase me folder. All right, and inside the erase me folder, now, so imagine this erase me folder is, let's say I did a photo shoot of gardens. All right, and let's say instead of erase me, let's name this gardens. Well, I don't want to mess with it right now. Well, let's do it. So if I name this garden flowers. So now it's called flower or garden flowers. Well, the next subfolder would be the date, but instead of quick family photos, I may name this, let's say the name of the place I photographed. Let's say Lou Gardens. Well, then the next day, you and I go on another photo shoot, and I create we do another photo shoot at a different garden. So 2021, 04/13, and let's say we went to another place, Florida Tech. So we went to Florida Tech Botanical Gardens, and we did a photo shoot there. Well, at the end of our photo shoot, we'll take that memory card and we'll dump all of those images inside Florida Tech. When we do that and we come back, notice this is so cool. Notice I changed it on my hard drive. I changed the name of underscore erase me. Notice Luminar was smart enough to catch that change. I changed the subfolder. It's smart enough and caught that change. Down here, I added a new subfolder. It was smart enough to add that to here. So you no longer when you get that, oh my God, I lost my images. Like in Lightroom, I've always had that problem. If I change something outside of Lightroom, Lightroom never saw it or recognized it, and it was a nightmare to get it all back in. Here's a real quick to where the images are active directories, to where whatever changes on my hard drive gets changed here. All right. So I hope that answers your question on that. And let me check some more. So Gary, thank you. So so when you export the changes, they're baked in. Good. Okay. So Julie chimed in on how she does it. Her images go from her camera to her pics folder. Then she edits them inside Lightroom or into Luminar, and she lets Luminar make the folder, does all the edits, and then sends them out to subfolders with what they are. Good. How do I save an image in Luminar file to retain the history, but then be able to export it as a TIFF? Harry, we can't do that. I mean, there's no programs. Yeah, no programs parametrics program like this, where it's non-destructive, so you're not making any changes to the actual photo. You're making changes to a database, and then those changes on that database, that folder, or to that image, gets added to it or baked in when you export. Now, what you can do, and I hope this helps, Harry, is let me come up here, and I'm hoping this will help solve some of your problem. Here's portrait. Nope. Let's do. We just did it. Sky replacement. All right. So let's say this image here, the sky replacement. Now, there we go. Here's this image of sky replacement. Harry, here's what you could do. If you really absolutely love the changes you made to this image, then what I'd recommend is you come down here and you save it as a template. So now, once you saved it as a template, in your template selection, what you could do, let me get to it, is under My Templates, it's right there. So I'm going to rename it. Let's call Sunset. I would say Tranquility, but you know what? I'm not going to try to spell Tranquility in front of you guys. Sunset Mood. All right, here we are. Sunset Mood. Now, if this image here, let's say I want to make additional changes to it, not on the TIFF, on this particular image, let me show you. I'm going to come in here and let's say revert to original. So here's the original image we just started with. What I would do is I'd come over here and run Sunset Mood. What Sunset Mood is going to do for me is it's going to add and put that image back to where I started, and then edit over here. No, this isn't accurate. Let me move it all the way down. I don't want to misinform you. Here's the original. So I erased all the edits right now. But the only downside by doing what I just showed you here, so look what it did. It brought it back to where I wanted it. But the downside is it's going to remove all of this information. And technically, there it is. And it's just going to show that you applied a template. So for the answer to that, again, once you bake in a change, now you made the image, quote, destructive, which meaning is you added stuff to that image that you're not going to be able to take back, all right? And like I said, what you can do, though, is save it inside Luminar. Don't mess with it. You can come back at it a year from now. Let's say this image here. I can come back to it, and any of the changes I've made are automatically saved with that image. All right? Thank you, Julie. So I hope that answers your question on that. Awesome. All right, I'm trying to check one more thing. So the only thing I don't do... Oh, okay, yeah. So there's a catalog. You try to drag and drop Luminar. But, yeah, I'll have to talk to you more about that later. I'm not quite sure what you mean on that one. But, guys, hey, thank you so much. I love the interactivity on this. When you come to these sessions, if you have a dying question you want to ask, and it's not too complicated to answer it, I'll answer it during the show. The first 5 minutes of the show, we want to answer the questions on what the show is pertaining. And in this case, within the first 5 minutes, I showed you how to organize your assets. Then at the end of that, whatever you want to ask me is fair game. And by the way, one thing I forgot to show you is where can you get more of these assets? If you go to the Luminar Marketplace, all right, and you can get to the Luminar Marketplace from inside Luminar, help, here's user guide, Luminar AI Insiders, the blog. So here it is, Luminar Marketplace. You click on that, and it takes you over to the marketplace. If you're a Luminar X membership, if you have the membership, then a lot of these a lot of the templates and LUTs are included, and you could download them from here, a lot of the skies. Well, how do you know if they're included? Well, if you go back, let's go here to the marketplace. If I go back to the marketplace, it'll actually tell you included with your membership here. All right? And Angela showed me something pretty cool the other day. If we get to the bottom of this, nope, I'm not quite sure what she showed me. She showed me something where maybe it's on the checkout. Nope. She showed me somewhere where it actually gives you. Nope, that wasn't it either. I'll have to find it. She'll show it to me again. But there was a way, if you already purchased it, there was a way to get a refund. You would just tell our support, hey, I see that it was included in my membership here. I purchased it, and then they'll give you a different pack. All right. So yeah. So looks are Luminar 4. Jerry, you're right. Luminar 4 is looks. Luminar AI, they're called templates. All right. So looks are in 4. Templates are in Luminar AI. All right. There it is. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.